What do you get when you mix Eyes Wide Shut, reality TV stars up to $250,000 and this?
Oh my God.
What?
What is it?
What
What
is it?
happened?
There has been a murder.
What?
Yes, it's the hit TV show The Traitors, and honestly, I can't believe I haven't been on this show earlier. I mean, it's always got Bachelor people on it, but also a plethora of other reality TV stars, and a concept that is made for me. A game of betrayal and survival, except with people from reality shows.
It's weird being here, you know? I'm just used to Love Island. It's weird to be wearing clothes. I haven't made out with anybody yet.
Keyword being yet. So yes, stars from Love Island, The Real Housewives, RuPaul's Drag Race, Survivor, Big Brother, the list goes on, all gather in Scotland via invitation from Alan Cumming to play his diabolical game. And this show is far from new. I'm sure most of you have heard of it, and if you haven't but have played Among Us, or Mafia as we called it in grade school, or as my own extended family plays almost every time we gather, Ultimate Werewolf, then you will be very familiar with what's going on. So 3 or 4 of these celebs are going to be picked to be traitors, hidden enemies to the group that get to pretend murder someone at night and eliminate them from the game. While the rest of the group are called the Faithful, and their job is to figure out who the traitors are and then banish them, with the game of course throwing in various twists and turns along the way. And for the sake of transparency, this is my first season of this show. It's usually been on around the same time as The Bachelor, so I've often missed it. So I'm going to be approaching this with fresh eyes and might not know all of the rules or what might be coming. Alright though, here's what's up for the first 3 episodes that were dropped. Now right away, you might recognize a number of these faces. I'll be naming them as I go along, but immediately, Alan announces something big, and it's the first twist of the season. They're going to be picking a traitor right at that very moment, and the identity of that traitor is actually going to be a secret, even to us. And that traitor is going to be selected in public, so everyone can try to gauge their reactions. Like, is it former Bachelor Colton Underwood? I don't know. We have seen his poker face before. Remember this?
Maybe you're the first gay bachelor and we don't even know. No. Put that in your promo.
Or could it be Mama Kelsey, Travis Kelce's mom and future mother-in-law to Taylor Swift?
No one's gonna murder her. The Swifties will kill you.
Yes.
That's true.
Well, ultimately someone is picked, and there's not a lot of information to go off of, but actor-comedian Michael Rappaport here is doing the math. There are 5 players here considered gamers, aka from a show like Survivor or Big Brother, and also 5 players from one of the Real Housewives shows. So, statistically...
So mathematically, at least one of the 5 from each group is a traitor.
And turns out he's actually onto something, as earlier everyone had interviews with Alan where, based off that interview, he then picked the 3 other traitors. 2 of them being from the Real Housewives franchise, Candace from the Real Housewives of Potomac, and Lisa Rinna from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Oh yes, and also there's sad to be wearing clothes Rob from Love Island.
You have the power of responsibility now, Rob. How will you use it?
I'm just gonna kill some people.
Wow, this guy is gonna be a force. Now, these traitors aren't gonna know who the secret traitor is either, but we will find out who that person is going to be soon. For now, though, the secret traitor will give these 3 a short list of who they're allowed to murder in the night, and the 3 known traitors will choose based off of that. Oh, and the secret traitor doesn't know their identity either, so they might even unknowingly shortlist one of them, which they actually do the first time they shortlist Rob. But okay, the other part of the game are these challenges. Like here, everyone has to find these coffins, and the more coffins with dollar signs you bring back to these graves, the more money is added to the prize pool. And this is also a way that you can earn immunity or shields for the night to protect you from being murdered. Which, by the way, if you're a traitor, you better still fight for one of those shields, or else you might look like a, well, traitor. A traitor who's not afraid of being vulnerable in the night, cause of course you're the one choosing who gets murdered. But it's at this very first challenge where a big misstep is made. Portia Williams from the Real Housewives of Atlanta hears from Candace here that Michael was telling people to put a coffin in one of the housewives' graves, which, if that happens, it blocks them from getting a shield that night. However, Candace says no, she wasn't talking about that. She was talking about Michael's comments from earlier about the mathematical odds of a traitor being a housewife. But Candace did actually say that.
Michael was like, who we gonna put the caskets in? Let's do the housewives. And I was like, no,
He has an aim for the housewives.
Everyone has heard him gunning for housewives. So I want to sort of throw a little bit of gas on Michael's fire.
However, Candace is backtracking now because she doesn't want to seem like a total traitor, because that was a total traitor move, her being a total traitor. And well, they all have their first elimination night, and Ian from Big Brother is axed first for being a potential strategic threat. And then the next morning, they all get to meet at this fancy breakfast where groups come in one by one to make the reveal more dramatic, until eventually they figure out who's not there, and people this time are shocked, or at least pretending to be shocked.
And I cannot get a feel. Like, I feel real crazy because I also thought it could have been Ian and he's the one I killed.
Portia slipped up. She said, I killed Ian.
Now, comedian Ron here catches that. Portia said the one I killed. Could that be a slip-up? I mean, there is a secret traitor out there, and, well, she does it again.
Because if we kill a faithful at Vanish, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be 2 faithfuls out each day.
And then she does it one more time.
First of all, there's four of them, right? There's at least 4. There's 4.
How does she know that? We don't know how many traitors there are.
So what does he do? Does he bring this up to everyone? What if he accidentally blabs to a traitor? The only other person who seemed to hear this was Mama Kelsey, so they decide to bide their time until the round table. And this is how faithful get rid of traitors. They all vote and the person with the most votes is banished, traitor or not. So you better get it right. Now, many people actually start targeting Donna, aka Mama Kelsey, cause she's been real quiet and really hasn't made any connections with anyone. So Ron then decides he has to come in with his evidence about Portia, and it's compelling evidence. So what do you do as a traitor? Do you believe him and vote with the group? Or do you try to deflect away to save someone who might be your own, but in doing so, potentially make yourself look guilty? Ultimately, people decide that at least some evidence is stronger than just people's gut feelings, so Portia barely gets the majority vote over Donna, and it's time for her to reveal her role.
I am a faithful.
I knew it. My God.
Well, this causes a tizzy. Ron now looks bad because he spearheaded this and missed, and Donna is still a heavy suspect. And the show tries to throw even more drama into the mix by doing a murder in plain sight. Basically a task where the traitors have to mark someone for murder, but they do it in front of the whole group. Like, the secret traitor shortlists more people, but the rest of them have to find that shortlist out in public and then burn the card of who they want gone from that shortlist before everyone goes to bed, or they risk not murdering anyone. Now, Candace here decides to do a big conga line to get everyone out of the kitchen where the shortlist cards are, something that gets Rob C. from Survivor here a little suspicious.
I'm concerned that the traitors could be trying to do a murder in plain sight.
Well, Rob C. says this right to Candace, who is now freaking out because she started the conga line.
You started the conga line, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, that was your idea. Okay.
Yes.
Well, Candace starts scrambling, trying to find her fellow traitors, but also not be suspicious at the same time. However, the clock is running out, so Heartthrob Rob and Lisa have to discuss what they want to do by pretending to play chess as if these two aren't the least likely to do that in the whole castle. Eventually, they squeak by with their elimination, and then breakfast hits the next day, where Candace doesn't even know who's gone or who is even on the shortlist. But when the final contestants enter and the person who's not there is...
Rob! Oh my God, Rob!
Well, everyone in the room is going...
Rob C.
Oh no.
So good to see you. Acting!
Except for Candace. Candace is more like...
It's Rob! It's Rob! Like, thank God.
And Heartthrob Rob basically chose other Rob because he's a strategic threat, but also because his name is Rob and, you know... There can be only one! Now, the other idea is that Rob C. voted for Michael at the last round table, and Michael's been pissing people off and giving off traitor vibes for being so talkative and distracting people at the round table. So by axing Rob C., they're also putting a little pressure and suspicion on Michael. And former Survivor winner Jam Jam, who's already been been feuding with Michael, is happy to add fuel to that fire cause, well, look at these two. They don't like each other.
I'm straight up faithful, and I told you what's up.
Straight up faithful.
And I think you're full of doo-doo. Big,
my God.
thick traitor doo-doo.
Yeah, at this point, people are gonna vote for Michael just for the peace and quiet. Now Alan comes in again and announces that there's going to be another round table before the next challenge. And Colton here decides he wants to spearhead Donna once more. I mean, he was gonna vote for her at the last round table, but the Ron stuff changed his mind, and now he regrets it. Meaning once more people are focusing on Mama Kelsey, despite Michael doing his best job to get people back on him.
That I'm the best looking, smartest, dopest, faithful. The best looking, smartest, dopest, faithful. At this point, traitors, we are here to capture dirty, deceitful, deceptive traitors.
And now the whole thing is about Michael, while Jam Jam goes, okay, name someone please, you haven't done any of that yet. And so Michael goes, yeah, you, which again he does in the strangest way ever.
Do it one time with me. If you're a traitor and you know it, clap your hands. If you're a traitor and you know it, clap your hands.
Is that what you sing in the turret?
If you're a traitor and you know it,
Well, people are not happy about this, cause it's yet again another distraction from the real discussion. However, even with so much in disarray, the faithful have decided it's time to unite, and every single vote there, well, almost all of them, goes Mama Kelsey's way. Swifties be damned, the mother-in-law is gone. Poor Mama Kelsey. Or...
You got yourself a traitor!
Yes, Mama Kelsey was the secret traitor the whole time, making Ron now look even worse. Michael actually doesn't look too bad, cause Donna at that round table was gunning for him instead. Oh, and by the way, yes, it's revealed that she is a traitor here, but no one knows except for the other traitors that she was the secret traitor. And no one knows that Mama Kelsey had no clue who the other traitors were. So for the next challenge, people have to pair up with someone that they trust. However, there's an odd number of people, so no one pairs up with Ron. And the penalty for that is there's no one to help him get out of this cage for the challenge. And if your partner doesn't successfully get you out, you're up for murder that night. So, of course, Ron is up, but then there's housewife Carolyn, whose partner Colton fails to save her, Mark from Dancing with the Stars fails to save Kristen, and figure skater Johnny Weir barely even begins the challenge, and as a result, singer-songwriter Eric is up for murder too. And well, for the cliffhanger to end these first 3 episodes, it's revealed that the murder will happen that night with all of them tied to a tree? Yeesh. And it's also going to happen face to face, with each of the vulnerable faithful getting to plead their case or yell their threats.
But I have a very specific set of skills. I hope that my spirit and those of all my other faithfuls will haunt you for the rest of your lives.
You better kill me now. If you don't kill me now, you will regret it.
Wow, did they play them audio of Michael Rappaport's round table for hours and hours on end while they were tied up or something? Because they all seem to want to be put out of their misery.
If you're a traitor and you know it, clap your hands. If you're a traitor and you know it, clap your hands.
Show me your faces!
The Traitors Season 4 is back, and one man has solidified himself as the most hated man on the season.
I'm straight up faithful, and I told you what's up.
Straight up faithful.
And I think you're full of doo-doo. Big,
my God.
thick traitor doo-doo. That I'm the best looking, smartest, dopest, faithful. The best looking, smartest, dopest, faithful at this point.
So it's week 2 of the Traitors, where celebrities come to stab each other in the back, and if you have no clue what I'm talking about, go check out my previous video on week 1. But this time, 2 more episodes have dropped for the week, and these faithful trying to suss out the hidden traitors are, well...
hopeless. Absolutely hopeless.
Yeah, this week they are truly going to be hopeless. Okay, so where things are at now, everyone is waiting to find out who was murdered in the night. And last night, it was a murder that was face to face. The vulnerable faithful were tied up by the least threatening axe-wielding maniac that I've ever seen, and blindfolded until the traitors arrived, where they were either set free or set free biblically, if you know what I mean. And two things happen at this breakfast. The safe faithful are trying to interrogate those who were supposed to be tied up to see if anyone was actually a traitor and has inconsistencies in their stories, while the faithful that were tied up but survived try to dish out any clues, like...
How many do you think there were?
I believe there were 3.
I heard some very light footsteps, extremely light. The lightest, tiniest little bird that I know is Mora.
Which, by the way, is completely wrong. The traitors are Love Island's Rob and Real Housewives Candace and Lisa Rinna, who, by the way, was also supposed to be tied up, and she is quite the actor when interrogated on what went down.
You go in, they tie your hands.
Who tied your hands?
Is the sound in dumb. The henchman. Acting! I was like, please, I'm a good faithful. I can help you.
Wait, why would you tell the traitors, save me, I'm a good faithful? I feel like that would be a really good reason to kill you.
Anyway, turns out Carolyn, another housewife from the Real Housewives of Dubai, is the one who's axed, and despite the over-the-top acting, she's surprised to see Lisa. So Eric and Kristen have also survived the face-to-face murder, however Eric is holding on to a secret. The other night, he delivered one of the corniest lines ever in an attempt to, I don't know, save himself? Threaten the people who hold his fate in their hands?
I hope that my spirit and those of all my other faithfuls will haunt you for the rest of your lives.
And well, when he did this, one of the traitors laughed. Now, Eric is a singer-songwriter, and he's got a pretty good ear, so he thinks he knows who it was, but he's holding on to this secret until the right time. But okay, things then move on to their next challenge to try and bank in some more money for the prize pool, where here they have to find these spears and ram them into these effigies and yell someone's name out like it's an anger management exercise. Oh yes, and the person they yell will be vulnerable for killing in the night. But there's no real strategy here, just people getting their name yelled out and then yelling out the name of the person who yelled their name as revenge. And for tonight's roundtable, where the faithful get to vote out who they think is a traitor, Colton here is looking at one person, Tiffany. Why? Well, apparently she had an agenda on an elimination order that was based on nothing but a hunch, says Colton going off a hunch. So he sees that as very traitor-like, very calculated and driven. And he is clear that he's going right after her and making a big move, pulling away from Ron, who most people had planned to vote for. Which, either way, is completely wrong, but hey.
Now, I don't know about you, but this game changes very quickly, and at times I struggle to have one solid name.
You struggling today, but go ahead.
You're the most dangerous, and you're the puppet master.
No, I'm the smartest. I'm definitely smarter than you.
The smartest traitor, so you admit it?
I am smarter than you.
So it's at this point that Eric decides it's time. This is the moment to bring forth his information about the traitor's laugh.
That laugh was you, Tiffany. I'm a musician. I listen to music over and over. I obsess over one song for 40 mixes.
You might need another career just for while you're here.
However, we all know that this move is gonna backfire as Tiffany is voted out and announces,
You have proved that you get what you deserve. You all didn't deserve me because I am a faithful.
And so it's another night of eliminations, where, okay, there is one person who was starting to suspect Lisa for her great acting skills. Problem is, Monet blabbed their suspicions to Candace, and very quietly too, so no one might suspect that this was a retaliation murder. And so, the next morning, Monet is not around, he was taken out in the night. And now, people are back on Ron, and some on Colton, which again, is all wrong. I mean, the only thing that seems to be on point this season is Alan's outfits. So okay, one more challenge comes up. Basically, search this fountain for coins. The coins point to the location of these statues. Return the statues to add cash to the prize pool, with the twist being that there are shields under the statues up for grabs. If you take a shield, you're safe from murder that night. But if no one takes one, there won't be a murder at all. So do you try to guarantee save yourself but look like a traitor in doing so, or as a traitor do you try and grab a shield in secret to ensure that there's a murder but risk getting caught? Anyway, they succeed in getting all the statues and it's a bloody good show, literally. But they don't reveal if anyone took a shield. And then it's on to yet another round table, and this is the beginning of the Michael Rappaport circus, as he is already looking at Colton, Rob, and Steven like,
just great, another hunk, stupid.
I don't know, man, one of those three hunks is a traitor. Because they're too swaggered out. I don't know which one.
But when Colton tries to pull a little fast one by going,
I have a question though. Does Alan stay in his outfit when he comes up to the turret, or does he change?
Michael is not happy. However, Colton's thinking, wait a minute, everyone who's voted for Michael at the round tables, except one person, has been axed in the night. And so he says Michael's name to everybody, which Michael overhears, and well, you know he's not gonna like that one.
You are a traitor. This is a traitor, and I ain't gonna say it no more. This guy's a traitor.
So I'm the fifth person you accuse.
Traitor.
You could kiss my ass, Michael.
This is a traitor.
Again, neither of them are traitors. These people are doomed. So Michael is now on the warpath. He's all in on Colton, which is like the third or fourth person he's been all in against, and he must have been practicing this line in a mirror over and over and over again before sitting down, cause right away he comes out with
colluding, commiserating, Colton. They all start with a C.
Colluding, commiserating?
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
You're a traitor, a commiserating, colluding traitor. Commiserating, Colton.
Commiseration means to feel sorry for someone.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. I'm sorry, that's driving me nuts.
So for yet another round table, Michael has taken over and distracted from the real conversation. But people really turn on him after he says this.
And nobody in this room would be better at holding a secret than you.
There it is.
There it is.
You think it was fun for 29 years of my life?
Oh, no. It has nothing to do with it.
Which offends quite a few people in the room, as he's insinuating about Colton being in the closet most of his life. Or at least that's how people interpret it. So things are getting heated. Some people are trying to focus back on Ron like they originally planned. For example, Dorinda, who says she's tried and tried and tried to get to know Ron, like asking him about his interests or his family, and Ron finally snaps here like,
I've asked you where you live.
I don't want to know where you live. I don't care about your family. My family's none of your business.
However, Michael's going, oh no, let's get back on me.
He's a traitor, and then you're next.
Now at this point, people like Eric are going, Michael, you're either a great traitor because you're causing so much chaos and distraction, or a terrible faithful, and honestly, either way, I'm happy you're gone.
Says the man with the magic ears.
Oh, shut up, please. Enough.
But Michael just takes all of these accusations on the chin and decides to go right back on to Colton, however with a few little edits to his slogan.
Colluding, isolating, crazy savage.
Yeah, he dropped the commiserating part real quick, huh?
Please stop talking.
Players, please. You stop talking.
Ah, the fabled Know You. Deadly on the grade school playground, but of little effect here. So at this point, almost everyone votes Michael just to save themselves the headache of another few days with him in the castle. And so, Michael goes off to reveal
the best looking, the smartest, and the dopest faithful.
And then he also apologizes to the camera for offending anyone for his Colton comments. So alright, the most hated man this season is out of the castle, and a bunch of people are now looking at Colton, which of course is now the perfect time for him to pin down a traitor.
Lisa.
Yes.
Is she normally this quiet?
No.
And suddenly the people around him are going, oh yeah, I don't think she's ever said someone's name who she thinks is a traitor. And fellow housewife Dorinda is going, huh, she's been way more quiet than she normally is. Well, except for when the kill is revealed at breakfast, at which point she is over the top. But no. She gave us the best description of the murder tied to the trees.
Why do you think that is? She got to watch it 3 times, bro.
Problem is, Rob is also in that room, so that night he spills the beans and Lisa's now going, So now they want to take out Colton, which I think they're a little hasty on. A number of people have now heard Colton go after Lisa, so him suddenly going could be seen as a retaliation kill, and possibly even come back on Rob as being one of the people who overheard what Colton said. Plus, Colton has a lot of heat on him as a possible traitor, so he could be an easy out at a future roundtable. Not to mention, we don't even know if they can murder tonight, as it's yet to be revealed if someone took a shield. Didn't mean to rhyme there. Something we'll have to find out next week. Well, it's a devilish new week of the Traitors, and the last episode? Pause so anyone who doesn't want spoilers can go and check out my last videos. But last week, the most hated man of the season, Michael Rappaport, was finally eliminated. Partly for his wonderful commentary.
And I think you're full of doo-doo. Big, thick traitor doo-doo.
Partly for his wonderful singing.
If you're a traitor and you know it, clap your hands. If you're a traitor and you know it, clap your hands.
Partly for his comments on Colton.
And nobody in this room would be better at holding a secret than you.
There it is.
There it is.
You think it was fun for 29 years of my life?
Oh, no. It has nothing to do with it.
But mostly because he eats like this. But right where things last left off, we are on the verge of... And Lisa Rinna is looking to take down Colton, who's been sniffing her out as a traitor. Unfortunately for her, she's gonna have to wait a week as everyone arrives at breakfast the next morning because...
There will be no murder.
I knew it. Ugh.
Yes, in the previous challenge, no one greeted out and stole a shield for themselves, and so no one was murdered in the night. However, despite Lisa Rinna's unbelievable faithful acting skills...
Ron?
Yeah.
Does anybody have anything at any point on him maybe not being a traitor?
No. No. Not no. No.
A number of people are now going after Colton, as figure skater Johnny and Dancing with the Stars' Mark. They're thinking, well, with how many people we have left, all we need is 8 guaranteed faithfuls and we can control every single round table. And Colton is who they want to go after next, as he missed big on Tiffany and he's always loud and in charge. Problem is, they've included 2 traitors in that group of 8 faithfuls. Not to mention, faithful or not, Rob here is very close with Colton, so it's a bit of a stretch to go up to him and ask, hey, do you mind voting your friend and alliance out? We think he's a traitor. So some bold moves are being made. But okay, for the challenge for the week, the group is going to be heading into this creepy cabin to solve ghostly puzzles in order to cash out more money for the prize pool, with all the answers to these puzzles being the names on people's gravestones outside. Choose the right one and you get money, however you can also choose to ditch the money and go for a shield instead. But that's not going to happen, as everyone agrees that if a single person goes for a shield, they're all going to vote that person out. Still doesn't stop Jam Jam here from considering it.
Jam Jam seems a bit pissed because he thinks we should have got a shield. I'm just like side-eye and I'm thinking, traitor!
Well, we really are throwing everyone's name out at this point. So after a few screams, a few scares, and a few puzzles that are going to get the whole cleaning crew going...
You should really clean this up. Someone could really hurt themselves.
My life.
Everyone sticks to their word, no one picks a shield, and no one is protected in the night. A big deal for the traitors, as they can now pick off whoever they want. And the plan for the traitors seems to be this. For weeks, everyone has been thinking Ron is a traitor because of his move on Portia. However, every time his name has come up, another person's name has come up instead, and then that person is gone. So the traitors want to focus on him for the next round table to get another faithful out, and then go after Colton in the night because he's been saying Lisa's name. Problem is, as the game has gone on, Rob's weakness is starting to peek out. He's played a very strong traitor game so far and is possibly the most hidden of them all. However, his emotions are starting to get to him.
My head is telling me that I should vote for Ron, but my heart is telling me like maybe there's another way. I really like him. I'd like to keep him around a little longer.
And the next person on people's lists is Colton, who he also has a relationship with. A very public one too, so turning on him might attract some unwanted attention. Meanwhile, Colton, he's certain Lisa is a traitor. So certain he's willing to make a move on it. And not to everyone else, but to Lisa herself.
I want to win this thing with you. I will protect you at the round table.
Yeah, not sure how I feel about this one. Why would a traitor want to keep someone around on their word that they won't turn on them and actually help them? Or why would a traitor believe a faithful was okay helping them win? You realize that by helping Lisa and protecting her, you ultimately lose in the end, right? At least that's my understanding of the game, and why would a traitor want anyone around who suspected them? Why would anyone give it up and go, yeah, okay, you got me, let's work together? Certainly Lisa doesn't want to do that, as she dishes out another Oscar-worthy performance.
I know you can't say. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I am a faithful. I'm a faithful.
Some things are adding up for me.
Acting! So we get to another round table and things start on Ron, which was the original plan for everyone, for the traitors and for the faithful, because they want to vote out Ron, mostly because people suspect him at this point and just need to know if it's true. Is he a traitor or is he not? Either they're right, yay, and a traitor is gone, or they're wrong, and they can at least move on to someone else, because everyone just can't seem to get their suspicions on Ron out of their minds. Well, Ron's defense is, why does his one mistake weigh more than, say, Colton's, who went after 2 people and was wrong, both Tiffany and Michael? He missed on both of those. And come to think of it, Portia too.
Because Michael, we don't like Michael, we don't count it. But because we love Portia, we're still on me. I don't feel that's fair.
So Mark and Johnny use this momentum to talk Colton, which gets Lisa looking real happy. And Ron, he starts going, you know what, maybe the best thing I can do as a faithful is let all of y'all vote for me, for the sake of clarity. And then he goes one by one complimenting everyone like, it has been an absolute pleasure, not you, to meet every one of you. And he's super genuine about it, which now has some people thinking,
I don't think he's a traitor. Can I say something? But it's not Ron.
So, seeing some of the heat move off Ron has Colton ready to throw out his hunch on Lisa.
I don't know much about housewives, but I know one thing. You don't go against a housewife. And that first night vote has never sat right with me. And I believe you're a traitor.
Well, Lisa is now backed into a corner, and that brings out the inner housewife as she now lays into Colton saying he's the one who's actually a traitor. Well, Colton's argument about 1, her being strangely passive for someone who's known for being a big personality, and 2, her voting Portia week 1, has actually turned some heads. Because as Survivor's Natalie points out, why would a housewife vote out a housewife? Haven't they been saying housewives stick together? At least for week 1, that is. Like, she would never vote out a Survivor person in the very first round table. It's too important to have people you know that you can stick by. Sure, in later days with more information that can change, but week 1? Meanwhile, Jam Jam brings out the most solid point, in my opinion, against Ron, who has said that with the Portia thing he had just made a mistake, but Jam Jam goes, look at the facts. The only thing we know for certain is that Donna was a traitor, and week 1, people were thinking Donna. That is, until Ron swayed the vote toward Portia, or rather, away from Donna, which he says is the strongest evidence that they have that Ron was protecting Donna. So the votes get tallied, and it ends up being a dead heat between Colton, Lisa, and Ron, up until the final 2 votes, which are Rob and Mark. And Rob is in a real bind. He's publicly in an alliance with Colton, and he's also publicly stated that he likes Ron, doesn't think he's a traitor. Plus, he also doesn't want to vote Ron out, he likes the guy and has gotten to know him, so...
As a faithful, it is my job to get traitors out of the game.
Which is a shocker for Lisa and Candace. And now it's down to a tie between Lisa and Ron with 1 vote left. But Mark, despite his moves against Colton, he votes Ron, who then goes up and declares he's a faithful. Another L for everyone but the traitors, and more chaos ensues. But I don't know, maybe this wasn't exactly a W for the traitors either, as now there's more heat on Lisa.
Oh my gosh.
Go for it, Colton.
And there's a newfound distrust within the Traitors, as Lisa was one vote away from being outed, and her and Candace are pissed at Rob. Not to mention, the upcoming murder is not a simple pick someone off in the turret. No, it's gonna be another murder in plain sight.
Behold the cursed amulet. Ooh. The first faithful to touch the amulet will be cursed to death.
So Alan announces that there's going to be a banquet that night, where the murder must take place. The first person you get to touch the amulet is doomed in the night. But now the Traitors have to scramble to figure out what the game plan is. And is Colton even a good choice now? He's got heat on him and could potentially be outed at another round table, and if he suddenly goes in the night, a lot of people might suspect Lisa. Ultimately though, they just say, okay Lisa, you've got the amulet, you make the final decision, and it's time to get ready. Will Lisa make a smart strategic move, or will her emotions take over?
I want to slit his throat.
Guess that answers that one. Oh, we are back with more Traitors content, and I gotta say, this season is getting mighty spicy.
Take him away, guys! Lisa kiss me. Lisa kiss me. Lisa kiss me with this.
You're gonna write my name down as a hint to everybody here that I'm a traitor? Oh my god.
You are a snake.
So, okay, I took a week off of the Traitors to spend some time with my family, but now I'm back and there are 2 episodes to cover. Episodes where a lot goes down, and the Traitors, who are already losing trust with each other, well, that murderous bond is about to shatter, all thanks to this hunkin' heartthrob. Now, where things last left off, we were headed to a vile, glamorous banquet where Lisa Rinna must commit a murder in plain sight. Right now, she's gunning for Colton, who's thrown her name out as a traitor, but problem is, if she goes for him now, that might look suspicious. Also, how do you even get close to him? Everyone here knows exactly what show they're on and exactly what's about to go down. Obviously, this is the setup for a murder in plain sight, and to take the wrong cup from the wrong person, or shake the wrong hand, touch the wrong person's cravat, and you could be marked for death. So everyone's on edge like...
Don't touch your face! Don't touch anything! People are dropping like flies!
Ultimately, Lisa decides on a couple of non-Colton names like Jam Jam or Natalie. And then she picks Jam Jam, pretending that the amulet is pricking her and needs fixing, so he helps her to his demise. But when Alan then comes in and announces someone has already been cursed to die, Jam Jam goes,
Lisa kiss me.
which is right, but for the wrong reasons. Now Alan then announces that a faithful can be saved if they take one of these antidotes, and while Kristen here guns one down cause she pulled a tarot card and thinks that that might be the reason that she was marked, while Natalie chugs one down out of fear, but they're both wrong, leading to an absolutely chaotic ending to the banquet as Alan announces,
You, Jam Jam! Lisa kiss me. Lisa kiss me with the cheek. It was so fresh because housewives don't kiss with the cheek. Lisa.
So Lisa ends up scrambling, and the acting is once more on point.
Lisa.
Yeah, but what did he say she did?
Kiss him on the cheek.
What? I did not.
Acting.
But now all eyes are on Lisa. Her only hope is to now target Natalie for being so desperate with that antidote. Not to mention, Natalie happens to fumble a bit when she says this.
The gamers have been targeted. Like, think about it, they're all dead now. We killed one. We murdered one.
So this is pretty much Lisa's only defense, put things now on to Natalie. Well, that and also trusting in her fellow traitors to have her back. For Candace, that's no problem, she says, I got you. But Rob? Well, Rob's in a bit of a pickle cause he's already put some heat on Lisa before, and he's not wanting to look like a traitor by not siding with his bro Colton. So Rob is ready to solidify his faithful status and pull the trigger on Lisa.
Anytime 2 people have a different version of a story, someone's lying. He said, I thought it was weird because she actually kissed me on the cheek. As soon as he says that, she says, I didn't do that.
So, at the next roundtable, despite Lisa's best attempts to deflect, the writing is on the wall. Vote after vote goes to her, and Candace is pissed. So, instead of voting with the group, she decides to make a very pointed throwaway vote to Rob.
I don't think that you are a traitor, so I have a throwaway vote. So I voted for Rob.
Oh, now things are getting personal. And well, Lisa then gets up and announces that yes, she is...
Iconic. Legendary.
Oh my God.
So everyone cheers and is happy, but trust amongst the final two traitors is absolutely shattered. And Candace, she wants Rob gone. Problem is, that throwaway vote now signals to Rob that Candace is on him. So, okay, before things get to that night's murder, Colton here is feeling emboldened, and he no longer wants to sit in the shadows or let the heat get off of him. He wants to go on the attack, and he's getting suspicious of none other than Candace because of that throwaway vote. Plus, Candace was defending Lisa that whole time, as she privately told Lisa she would, but that brings heavy suspicion on her now that Lisa was outed as a traitor. So he brings up her name. Only thing is, Rob knows about this, but Candace doesn't. And Rob, in a very smart move for what he wants to do, get rid of Candace now, he lets Candace control the next murder, saying, hey, I pulled all that on Lisa, you make the decision that you want for your game right now. So Candace says she wants Colton gone, because in her mind, she's getting rid of one of Rob's buddies, who might do his bidding for him and throw Candace under the bus, hoping that this will also make Rob feel more vulnerable. Little does she know, Rob is thinking this.
It's like the Mark Twain quote that I love. It ain't the things you don't know that hurt you, it's the things you think you know for sure. He has spoken to people that he is suspicious about her, and killing him will draw a direct line to her.
Wow, didn't expect that one from Rob. The guy is full of surprises. So yes, this starts to backfire on Candace in a big way. And Rob doesn't even have to bring anything up. Others start connecting the dots, because it is a shocker when the next morning arrives and Colton is gone. Because Johnny and Kristen here were just saying they wanted back on Colton as the next suspect, but then he's just gone. He was a faithful, causing a lot of confusion because it's weird that someone with heat would be taken out at night, unless, of course, he was on to a traitor. And Rob is more than happy to twist this dagger.
It might sound crazy, but I think it might be Candace.
The last thing Colton said to me last night was Candace.
Well, eventually, all this info comes back to Candace, who now realizes just what Rob let her do, and she is mad. She thinks Rob is a snake and he's taken Lisa out and is now gunning for her. As far as she's concerned, he probably even told Colton to put her name out there in the first place, leading to a conversation between the two where the tension is palpable.
If I get banished tonight, your name is going to come up.
I feel like that's bad sportsmanship, but...
You think that's bad sportsmanship?
The game is called Traitors.
Yes, it is. And you are a snake, not a traitor.
So, okay, we enter the next roundtable, and it needs to be said that Johnny here is very close with Candace. So, he starts off with what seems to be, in my opinion, the best chance of getting heat away from Candace and onto someone else. That someone else being Steven. Because a lot of people are now turning to names that are more out of left field, considering Colton wasn't a traitor, and everyone's going, wow, their traitor radar is way off. Plus, 2 female traitors have gone, so people are now thinking there must be a male traitor in there too. And okay, I've skipped over the last 2 challenges. One was actually pretty big because the reward for winning it was a dagger, where whenever you go to a round table, your vote actually will count as 2 votes, as long as you do this within the next 4 roundtables. And Rob is actually the one who got it. But during that challenge, Lisa helped Steven out, and a lot of people wondered why she would do that. Dorinda says the two didn't really have a relationship, so it's kind of suspect. Maybe, now that they know Lisa was a traitor, she was helping a fellow traitor. But alas, instead of pushing for Steven, when things move on to Candace, as people bring up her defending Lisa, and how she was always the consistency queen, but then randomly did a throwaway vote the one time it was a traitor, well, she instead goes after Rob.
Why Colton? What would be the reason, et cetera, et cetera. I thought it was interesting that Rob was sort of fumbling, dropped his fork, and he like hit something on the table.
Yeah, Rob dropped a fork at breakfast when Colton was announced as murdered, and Rob defends this by going, 1, Colton was my best friend here, and 2, this wouldn't be the first time me or anyone else here has dropped a fork before. Not to mention, Maura is now even more suspicious of Candace, as she had previously said the Rob vote from the last roundtable was a throwaway vote, but then she comes into this roundtable super suspect on Rob? Seems a bit strange. While Candace throws out her Rob used Colton as his underling theory, which is a bit of a shame. She's trying to put heat on Rob, maybe to, I don't know, for a future vote, get people back onto him, but personally I think her best bet was to push Steven as a traitor and then take the extra day and try to regroup her game. But now a once very undercover traitor has hit the light, so much so that even her closest ally decides,
Candace, I voted for you.
Yep, that's it. Don't even show me the rest of the votes. If Johnny's decided that Candace is suspect, there's no hope for her. Even Dorinda votes for a fellow housewife. And funnily enough, the final mathematical deciding vote is Rob's. The final nail in the coffin, as, yeah, almost everyone there votes Candace, and they find out
I am a traitor.
So for the second round table in a row, they all cheer victoriously, and Rob is now the lone traitor. Having successfully taken out 2 of his fellow murderers, he's the housewife killer. And is anyone now suspicious of Rob like they were a previous Rob from last season when something similar happened?
Colton pointed us to Candace, and she didn't leave us with anything, except for Rob, which I don't.
No.
There's no way. That sweet man.
Guess that answers that one. But Rob, he knows that with Candace putting his name down twice, it'll only be a matter of time before someone connects the dots. And Alan, he has one more very important decision for Rob. Rob must choose someone to meet in secret and tell them that they will join him as a traitor or die that night. Leaving Rob to wonder, does he choose Johnny, someone who has heat now for being with Candace, but he could maybe backstab them and potentially get this there has to be a male traitor theory out of there? Or does he choose Eric, who's very smart and could go all the way with him, but is he so smart that he might actually do the same thing to Rob that Rob did to Lisa and Candace? Or does he choose Mark, who is also very under the radar? Ultimately though, he makes this decision.
Oh my God. Are you for real? That handwriting is the Traitors. And I know who it is. Johnny.
Okay, that was one of the funniest moments all season. I was howling. So yeah, Eric is gonna be pretty shocked when he finds out who it actually is. We are back with another week of The Traitors, and let me tell you, I now have an absolute new favorite player.
Oh my God. Are you for real? That handwriting is the Traitors. And I know who it is. Johnny.
Ugh, love it. So where things last left off, traitor hunk Rob over here had successfully eliminated fellow traitors Lisa and Candace. And as per the rules of Alan's game, he must now invite a faithful to join him as a traitor.
Or die.
All right, I'm in. God! I need a helmet and an adult diaper because I'm about to shit my pants and my head's about to explode.
Love it. Absolutely loving Eric as a traitor already. So yes, Eric is in. I mean, of course, cause the choice is either lose the game or continue the game, even though Eric makes it clear that he doesn't like the idea of being a murderous traitor, which could be good for Rob, cause I feel like Eric is a nice enough guy that he won't want to betray Rob or game him. He's just excited to have a buddy in the turret and to work with him. However, Eric is smart enough to know that it's possible Rob might do to him what Rob did to Lisa and to Candace, so we'll see how this plays out. But for right now, he's just cheesing.
This is diabolical. This is crazy.
But alright, it's time to get to business, because these two actually have to murder someone that night. So they go over their options, and ultimately it's Eric who gets to do the honors. He is now officially a traitor.
Look at me.
You look like Harry Potter.
But the Slytherin kind.
Love it. So the next morning comes, and first into breakfast are Rob, Kristen, and Mark, with Kristen and Mark theorizing that a new traitor has likely joined the ranks. They know how this game works, they've seen past seasons, and with 3 traitors gone, things likely went down to 1, and that means someone's been seduced into the ranks. However, their theory is that Johnny is a traitor because he was so close with Candace, and perhaps he's now recruited Tara, especially considering those two have been getting closer and closer. Plus, Tara comes in and is immediately looking around to see that Johnny's not there, so she's telling people, oh, it has to be Johnny who's gone, it has to be, which a few others feel is laying it on thick.
I thought he was gonna die. Hello!
But no, once everyone enters, it's Dorinda who ends up being the traitor's victim for the night, as Rob believes no one would suspect he'd take out Dorinda. She was way too close with him.
I love me some Dorinda.
Your little wifey.
So yeah, expend an ally in order to distance yourself from suspicion. Anyway, at this point, Tara over here is suspicious of Steven. So she goes to Kristen, and instead of Kristen agreeing with her, she's hesitant, leading Tara to ask Kristen who she thinks is a traitor, and Kristen goes, "J'accuse!" So now Tara's going, well shit, Johnny and I are so bad at this game, we've been so off with who we trust. Let's just forego our plan to hide how close we are and just buddy up. Anyway, the next challenge is an interesting one, because everyone's going to have to enter these boxes, and then they'll be given a number of questions that will secretly be answered by the traitors, who will have to sneak out of their boxes in order to do that.
I can be sneaky, I can be quiet, I'm nimble, like a cat.
Yeah, this man is getting far too comfortable as a traitor right now. But the idea here is that if people guess what the traitors have answered, they'll bank money for the prize pool, while the traitors have to weigh trying to earn money and risk divulging important information, or just throwing all the money out the window in order to protect themselves. So Rob decides, yeah, these two figure that if they put one name down for all the answers, there's no way any of it could trace back to them. So for the first question, who's most useful to the traitors, they put Tara. And for the next question, also Tara. For all questions, yep, Tara. Which confuses and annoys the faithful, but they do catch on quick, and they decide, well, at least let's bank some money, so we're all gonna put Tara's name down. All except...
Oh, great.
What happened? I was trying to go off logic, guys. I didn't realize we were trying to put Tara on there.
Yeah, Johnny and Tara, the people with the most heat right now, they deviate, which confuses people yet again and only adds more suspicion their way. Now for the last part of this, Alan announces that the traitors must immediately shortlist 4 people for murder that night, and they're gonna do it right here, right now. So if you go back in your box and it's suddenly locked, you're one of the 4 people shortlisted, and traitors are allowed to shortlist themselves. So Rob and Eric come out, and Rob says everyone's going to suspect that there's a traitor in there, meaning they should leave their names off the list. And ultimately Johnny and Tara are on the shortlist for that reason, as well as Natalie because she's a smart player and therefore a threat. Same goes for Kristen, as Rob thinks she's very steadfast, and if she catches even a whiff of one of them being a traitor, he knows she'll be on it like a hawk. Oh, and speaking of Natalie, as production eventually releases them from their box, she starts developing a gut feeling, and it's not that Johnny is a traitor, because she's seeing how defeated he looks coming back to the castle and starts to believe him. So she goes to her most trusted people with a new theory.
You're the only two right now that I can say 100% that I don't trust. That I don't trust.
Alright, apart from the little word slip up, you sure you want to eliminate Natalie, Rob? So Natalie is on Steven for that time that Lisa gave Steven her extra gold in a challenge. And now Rob is wondering, maybe Steven is a great pick to swing to, cause if we pivot to him, it's gonna be an easy pivot back to Johnny for the roundtable after next. But okay, let's get to the roundtable for this episode. And here it feels like a feast of traitorous riches for Rob and Eric, as now even more evidence comes, but none of it is for them. As Kristen points a finger to Tara going, how interesting that the day I tell you I'm suspicious of you is suddenly the day that I'm on the short list for murder.
Coincidence? I think not!
But I think so. It just seems to be luck for Rob and Eric that this happened without them knowing, and they shortlisted Kristen that same day. Now, of course, Johnny's name also comes up, and more people are suspicious of him and Tara as they no longer care about hiding their friendship, and people are going, wow, you two are very capable of lying to us, huh? While others then bring up how Candace tried to get Johnny a shield the other day, theorizing that it was probably so he could tell her who was protected or not in the night. And Johnny, he goes, yeah, I probably would have told her. Not because I'm a traitor, but because she's my friend.
We played honestly. Because I play the game poorly doesn't make me a traitor. That's my truth.
Which is also his defense for why he put up a different name in the Traitor Jack-in-the-Box game when everyone else knew that the traitors were always answering Tara. So at this point, Natalie then decides to shift into her theory. She brings up the Lisa extra gold stuff and also a few more comments about Steven's reactions seeming fake. And here, she's convincing. She also blabs that Rob has the extra vote dagger, as that has to come out either now or next roundtable, and with Rob not being on the shortlist for murder that night, the traitors won't be able to target him before he can use it. Which, of course, we know wouldn't happen because Rob is himself a traitor. And ultimately, Natalie, along with Johnny's defense of himself, is enough to put a couple of extra votes on Steven, or split the votes that would have gone on Johnny onto Tara, with Eric and Rob also deciding to pull the trigger on the Steven switch up, meaning somehow Johnny survives this roundtable and it's Steven being sent for banishment. Where, yeah, we all know how this is going to go.
But I am a faithful, and you blew it.
And with that, another faithful bites the dust, and the rest have to regroup. Not to mention, Eric and Rob have someone to murder that night, a decision that's about to get a lot more interesting as Kristen says this to Eric.
Why didn't you have like a ton of stuff to say tonight? Eric, if I'm being very honest with you, it's like, oh, what do you think?
Yeah, no.
I'm like, say something.
Kristen tells Eric straight to his face that he's suddenly changed his demeanor and the way he acts as a faithful. Coincidence?
I think not!
So, did Kristen just do the same thing with Eric that she thought happened with Tara? We'll have to see. It's a tough decision for these two because you can either keep Kristen and try to spend next episode convincing her Eric's a faithful, or you could take her out now, but risk the heat coming back on him in full force.
I don't trust Eric. So if I murder tomorrow, just look at Eric.